Cobbs.
Hey, I'm Imani.
Hey, I'm Alexis Rose.
And I'm Lex.
And we have a very, very, very special guest with us today.
Yes.
The beautifully talented, amazing songwriter and singer,
Yes.
Jane Handcock is in the building right now. How does it feel to be here right now?
Welcome.
I'm excited. Thank you. You guys have made me feel welcome. It's all dope in here, the decorum.
Yes.
We're definitely happy to have you. So a little bit about the B-side. So basically how we came up with the title was that, you know, when you listen to a tape or a vinyl, sometimes, well, most of the time, in our opinion, we feel like a lot of the A-side is more of like the mainstream singles and kind of like, you know, what the label reps kind of want to hear. And then the B-side is kind of like the side that the fans connect to most. It has more of the deep album records. I mean, like the album cuts, and it's more of like the fan side. And it's kind of less industry, more like raw and uncut. So that's how we came up with the title, the B-side.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's what's up. So let's get into this B-list. And basically what the B-list is whatever you're feeling right now at the moment. It could be a movie, a television show, a song. For me right now, what's on my B-list is definitely Rihanna's work. I feel like whenever that song comes on, I don't know, it just makes me want to dance. I don't dance, but it just makes me want to dance. I've seen, like, I don't care where you are. You could be at school. You could be at work. You could be at a church picnic. That song comes on, you gonna dance for sure. Like, it's like just the whole vibe. It's just hella cool. So that's what's popping for me right now. What about you? What's on your B list right now?
You know, I'm gonna just go with the Ratchet Mob. You know, Future. Anything Future. I love Future. You know, as much soul as I sing, I love this Future.
What's your favorite Future song right now, though?
Mason Margiela.
Hey, I see you.
Yeah, Mason Margiela.
Future's on the B list. What about you, Imani?
Well, if you know me, you know I'm always feeling Ty Dolla $ign. I love Ty Dolla $ign, and I love Ty Dolla $ign because I just feel like his this latest album he put out, like that album is so dope to me. It's almost like a R&B album. Like, you don't even know what to call Ty Dolla $ign. Is he a rapper? Is he a singer? Because he be killing. You know, I want to invite him to church, lightweight, because that's how hard he be killing to me. You know, and I love his music, and I love what he brings to the table. I feel like his stuff is different. It's not just beats. Like, he actually having live instrumentation. Like, he had Babyface on one of his songs, like Solid. That's my one. But, you know, I love Ty Dolla $ign, and that's who I'm feeling.
Alexis, what about you?
All right, mine is on the throwback tip. I got, you know the Apple list, how they change up the playlist every now and again. So,
oh yes,
I'm feeling like the Donnell Jones, you know what's up, but with the left eye, the left eye feature. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Don't you hate it when Left Eye's not on there? You be like, I'll be ready for the say what.
Right.
And then if it don't come in, I just be like,
I feel about Scrubs too, because a lot of times they play the record without Left Eye's verse, and I'm just like, that's the best part of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you?
For my B list, I'm sorry. I got this song, Great Grace. It's still, I'm sorry. It's it's stuck in my head.
Yeah,
I love it. I just had to take it there. I mean, there's also, if I had to choose, like, you know, just to stay with the vibe and the theme, if I had to choose something like hip hop or something, I definitely have to say Ty Dolla $ign too, because that's solid.
TC.
I know the people on Snapchat gonna be sick of me posting that, because I said at the beginning of the year that is my theme song for the year, and I put maybe like twice a month I'll upload a snap. And I'm like in there, you know, with the camera doing all the crazy stuff to Solid. That's still that's my theme song for the whole year. Y'all gonna hear me play it every single day, all the time, every snap. Yes. That's what it's gonna be.
So that's what's on the B list for everybody right now. Now, Jane, you're an established singer and songwriter. We want to know, kind of like, when did this all begin for you? At what age did you start singing, and then what age did you start songwriting?
I started singing when I was 3. Yeah, when I started singing and talking, like, I think it went hand in hand. I started talking. My first song was actually Baby, Baby, Baby by TLC. So, you know, I was just always into music. And then I started writing probably when I was 15, when I was in high school. And then I professionally, I'll probably say I started when I was 20.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're an OSA alum just like me, and you know, I just want to know, like, what was your first step after you graduated from OSA into like getting into the music industry? Like, what did you do to really tap into that?
Honestly, my first maybe 2 years out of high school were probably rough because I was just lost. I was like, you know, I was kind of prompted to do the college thing.
Right.
You know, I was never really studious. I was always somebody who was just into the arts. I got all A's when it came to arts and C's and NC ones.
I remember them NCs.
No credit.
So, you know, I was kind of like that. But so I had dropped out of college, and I really didn't tell my family. I was just going to the studio. I was, you know, going to school, acting like I was going to school, getting up.
Wow.
And then I literally like bail and go to the studio.
That's
and, you know, I just kind of followed, you know, I just kind of made an executive decision. I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And it wasn't for me. So I, you know, started just going into the studio. Every chance I got, it was studio, and meeting people, sneaking into clubs and stuff like that.
Wow.
Not trying to do the other thing, but really network. So, you know, I felt really kind of lost, but it just all came together, praying and hustling. You know?
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. So, you've worked with a lot of different people, and there's like there's a few articles that was written about you, the Singers Room article, and this is R&B article, and a few other ones. Alexis, you kind of want to get into some of the stuff that you read in the article?
Yeah, I mean, it covered a lot of like what you do and who you worked with, but I mean, how do you go from dropping out of school to like, you know, in these rooms with influential people like Teddy Riley and Kelly Rowland? And
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I sometimes sit and be like, how did I do that?
Man.
I moved to Atlanta when I was 20, and it was one of them things where it was just like, I moved just really spontaneous. It was like an offer to where my manager at the time was just like, yo, I got an opportunity. I need you to come and really, you know, do your thing. And shout out to Yancey. He just took a chance on us, had us come to his house, and he had a studio in his house. So we would just record. And in Atlanta, we kind of just got hot. We kind of was sizzling and bubbling up. And I don't know, like, it was just people was inviting us to studios. And at the time, well, I still do. I still work with Adrian Marcel. It was him and I. It was just me and him, and, you know, in the basement, late nights, just working on music. And then it turned from that to people actually wanting to have meetings with us. And we in studios literally across the hall from Drake and Future.
Wow.
And just talking. It was just weird. Like, I think that's why I love me some Future, because I seen how he started. Well, somewhat of the build up. It was like he was just, you know, getting his little dreads twisted up, sitting, just being chilling, and to be in that. And, you know, I could really say Atlanta is really what made me say, look, I'm gonna just do this. I never left home ever. I never even left my parents' house. So it was like, I'm gonna be back. And that turned into like 3-4 years I was gone. So
that's crazy.
And This Is R&B write-up, it said something about like how Raphael Sadiq looks at you as like the music medium. And when I read that, I was like, what? Like, how does that feel to be able to, like, for someone that influential, like that, to recognize, like, he calls you a music medium?
It's a huge title.
That's like my uncle. I call him Uncle Ray. You know, Uncle Ray just, it's great. I remember it would be times when I'd go to like LA and I'd literally walk past the studio or walk like around the area. And I didn't know I was going to somebody else's studio session, just wanting a break. And for me to be sitting in this studio, and I'm like, dang, I used to be over here, and I'm here in this room. And for him to just really hold me up to a standard is like, it's surreal. I'm like, wow, you know. And for him to give me them talks and stuff, it's just really dope. So, you know, I just try to hold it and rep it. If he's saying I'm that, then I got it. I'm back.
Exactly.
You've worked with several people, Kehlani, Tank, Keke Palmer, Kelly Rowland, Big Crit, Tyrese. Speaking of Tyrese, there's like this, he kind of got on Instagram and he challenged a lot of the R&B singers to do the R&B challenge. And basically what the R&B challenge is basically like, he basically challenged them to make an all R&B album with no hip-hop features. Now, my question is for everybody, like, what do y'all think he was trying to get at? Like, do you feel like, is there something wrong with making an R&B album with hip-hop features? Does it take away from the genre, or is it like... What?
I feel like, nowadays it's like a lot of people don't do, like, real R&B albums, per se. They feature hip-hop artists and stuff like that, I guess for publicity or whatever reason. So I think he was just trying to get back to how it used to be, like when R&B first started, like that real timeless type of music. Because now you hear a lot of songs and after a year you don't want to hear it no more. But like back in the days, that real R&B music, like you could still listen to that over and over and it still feels good.
Staple.
Right, and so I think that was just basically the point of his challenge, was to like get back to the old time way, if I can say it like that. But you get what I mean, like get back to how the real R&B used to be. I think that was basically.
What do you think, Jane?
Yeah, I agree. I just, I think that's really, it's just a lot of gimmicks in what's going on right now. The social media kind of helps fuel it or whatever, but getting back to just music. It don't have to sound like everything. Everything sounds like it's singy rappy. And it's just like, let's go back to some melodies that we haven't heard in a minute. Some new ones that we have yet to hear. Let's go back to some lyrics that really mean something. So I think that's what he meant. And in his way, he displays it how he displays it. But I think that's what he meant. That's what I took from it.
So, were you gonna say something? Okay, so my question, it kind of goes with that. As far as like, so do you think that R&B as a genre itself is in trouble? Like, would you say that genre is in trouble? Because like our parents used to be like, my music back in the day, we used to have this, we used to have that, and like we're not even that old, and we're at that point where we're telling people like music back in the day, like our old R&B, like that was real music. Like we're at that stage that our parents was at, like telling us. So if we saying that now, what do you think about the genre of R&B as a whole? Like, do you think we really like in struggle city?
This is a talk I have a lot. I just think it kind of fell into a place of I don't even know the word for it. Just real kind of like like it fell into. And look, these were like my joints back in the day. No like shade, but like the right third and the
yes.
It was like I was hitting too. Yes. But it was like music in general kind of went there for a minute. But like it was a lot of those, and that was just one that was like the one. But it was a lot of that, and it was just like okay. And I think R&B kind of shifted. It kind of
with the sound
with that, so I think it kind of went into like a weird space, but it's a lot of people coming back that are like really underground. I listen to a lot of underground in a sense, but they are actually starting to get the recognition internet, Kehlani,
absolutely.
A lot of them type of people,
you.
BJ, right?
Right.
Godspeed. Like, BJ the Chicago kid, a lot of them, Adrian, just a lot of people who are underground, but still, they're, I think it can come back to a nice vibe for us if we can just kind of keep things like this. This is the type of stuff that matters, when you have a group of people who are sane, very liberal and logical in their thinking. We need that. A lot of people don't like to tap in like that. So
right.
Getting more people tapping in.
I'm sorry. I think like it's crazy to me when I think about it, R&B, because for instance, Ty Dolla $ign, we're like, is he a rapper? Is he a singer? I feel like it's so many rappers who are reaching out to the R&B artists to do the hooks. So, you know, it's like they know, like, there's some consciousness about R&B. Like, we still need that. We wanted that, you know? So it's like for R&B to go away from what it is and clearly what it's known for, you know? Because, how many hip-hop songs got Chris Brown singing on the hook? Or, you know, somebody is on there. Or the rappers are sing-songy with their raps, you know? So it's like R&B clearly is still something that people appreciate and people really recognize, you know, that this is something that needs to stay around. But it's just crazy that people who I guess are a little bit more musically aware or like really wanting to hear real raw R&B are like, you know, are we in trouble? That, like, it's crazy that that's even a question.
Yeah, I just think it needs to. We have to make it a factor. You know, it's one thing to rant about it, and you know, which I see, you know, some artists do, and I feel the pain. I feel what they're saying because it's a lot of, you know, a lot of mess. You know what I'm saying? But let's just do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like me being an artist, I know that with what I'm gonna, you know, give to it is real music. You know what I'm saying? It may not be R&B, the certain type that everybody listens to, but it's gonna be authentic. And I think that's what people got to get to. A lot of people are R&B's not being authentic because people are being told or being molded into not being their real selves.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
You know, you got people who are doing maybe a pop sound when really they need to be doing maybe a blues sound or you know, people doing R&B, hip hop that really need to do country. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be ourselves. And I'm applauding artists that are finally like saying, okay, I know, I'm gonna take a stand.
So
that's what we gotta do, take a stand.
With that, I want to know, who is an artist that you think is like, you know, creating a pop sound or all their music is more poppy that you want to really go back to straight R&B? Like, if you could choose like one of those pop artists that are hot, you know, they got the hits and everybody's supporting them, but you want to hear real raw R&B.
I'll say who I like, because I can get real me.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
Jane Handcock, raw and
right.
uncut.
Yes.
You know, okay, I love me some Usher. Like, Usher is like my boo. Something be rooted in my head.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
I love his pop. I love when he goes there. But, you know, I would love, me personally, I would love a confession, something in that
I
realm.
feel you because I still listen to Confessions to this day.
And
like,
I feel like
bomb.
there will never be another Confessions. Confessions is a classic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but it would be kind of dope to tap into that vibe again. But, you know, some people just, I don't know. A lot of those type of artists who are iconic, I feel like Usher is one of the people who are like, Usher did his thing. He made a stamp, you know, so maybe he's just over it, you know. Like, I would love to hear another Destiny's Child right on the wall.
Yes.
Will it happen again? Nah, because, you know, they're evolving. You know, they've evolved in, hey, I'm doing this.
That one, Beyonce is just like taking like.
Yeah, it's like, is she real? That's how I feel. She's so famous. Is she real?
And I was gonna say I had the pleasure of meeting all three. I haven't met Beyonce, but you know, just looking at their vibe, they're like, look, they're really like, they've evolved into like, hey, Destiny's Child was dope when it was.
They gotta come back though. They
You know,
gotta do it.
A reunion tour?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I noticed how you said something earlier about it's the artist's job to kind of stay authentic to the genre, but like I feel like a lot of times people don't want to hear that sound. Like I feel like, you know, I can't openly be like, you know, when someone asks me who my favorite R&B singer is and I say Brandy, or if I say Jasmine Sullivan, or I say, you know, somebody of that caliber, they look at me like,
yeah, people
like,
don't
what?
be feeling Brandy,
Like,
and I
they
don't understand
don't.
why.
Like I asked
don't.
somebody who their favorite R&B singer was, and I kid you not, they said Fetty Wap. And that's when I knew that R&B was in trouble. Like how do Fetty Wap is dope. He
definitely dope.
He definitely. We just saw him live. Yeah, he could sing. He definitely he be singing.
Him and Future got singing. Like this. They got a soul. So something about it is like, it's just different. You know, a lot of people have their sound, but I don't know, something the depth of them.
I feel you.
When they singing it, I feel like they mean it.
They do mean it. They do.
Like he means it. Yeah, like so he makes me feel it. I do feel what you're saying, like, because I've been in rooms that are like, you know, totally not the vibe that I'm personally on, but it's just really up to the consumer. Like, you know, the artists, at the end of the day, I think the artists are kind of like following what is being consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, you know, just as they have to take a stand, it's like the consumer has to like be receptive, like you said. Like it has to be to where people just have to tap into themselves. A lot of people don't want to hear about feelings a lot. Mm-hmm. But when they hear it in the right way, they love it. That's why Drake will really have me in my feelings. Like Drake have tears come out my eyes.
In
like,
them.
wow.
Because he go there, you know?
He goes there unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done it unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
He'll do it. Weekend went. People said whatever they had to say, but he said, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Those artists that we love are like, no, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to, I think it takes everybody to kind of say, okay, you know, let's do something.
I feel like a lot of it has to do with radio a little bit, because I feel like, you know, an artist feels the pressure of like, okay, do I want that hit single? So like an artist like Omarion, I feel like, who comes from records like, and he comes from B2K, which is like a 2000 era Icebox. You know, they're singing, they're very R&B, but like you hear Supposed to Be, and it's like he could really be singing. You know what I mean? Like he comes from that era, but it's like, okay, do you compromise the genre of music for?
Yeah, because he really not
singing. Yeah, he's
the
not.
song slap, but he not
and
singing.
It's a hit,
singing.
But I'm just saying, like, do you compromise the genre over the accolade? Do you ever feel those pressures, or it's just like?
Maybe in songwriting, I'll feel maybe.
Y'all better read my mind. Both of y'all are reading it tonight.
In songwriting, it'll, depending on who I'm writing for or working with, it's like, you know, they want a different sound. But I have been blessed to be in rooms where people get it. You know, a lot of I just as much as like the industry, you know, it has its like bad parts or dark sides or whatever you want to say. I've been blessed to have people really accept me. You know, when I come up in the room and they say, okay, we're gonna work, they're not too much saying, you know, change this. It's more like maybe the suits of it, but not like the producers and the other songwriters and artists that I've worked with. They're always like, nah, let's push this down. Like, let's just go there. You know, so, you know, I think it's just doing you. I've learned to do me. Like, sometimes it hurts because people don't maybe get it right away, but they'll get it. They'll hit me back, or however the card is supposed to unfold. It's like, just do you.
You know, it's kind of something, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking as we're talking, you know, it might not just be R&B though, as far as like how you were referring to the radio and, you know, that radio sound, because I think about J. Cole and how on Born Sinner, you know, he wrote Let Nas Down, and he was talking about how he made Workout, and he was in the studio and making hits in his mind. He was coming up with all these hits, and they were like, nah, we need the record that we could play on the radio. And Workout came out, and, you know, it was successful and everything, but when he heard Nas's opinion of it, and Nas was like, you know, his #1 influence, Nas was like, why would you do that? Like you sold out a little bit. Like you didn't stick to yourself on that record, you know, and it's just like, maybe it's just not R&B, maybe it's music, you know, as a whole. And exactly what you said, like, is it radio's fault? Is it?
I feel like it is because I've heard people be like, you know, don't nobody want to hear that. Like, people do not want to hear that type of music. I love, like, for example, the Chris Brown record, the Back to Sleep record. I love that record. I feel like that's a great attempt at trying to get it back. Yeah. And they play it on the radio, but it's kind of like people be like, well, when I hear that song, it puts me to sleep. I really don't want to hear it. And it's just like, you'd be surprised.
Who you be talking to?
People who are influential too. You'd be surprised. You never know.
That's interesting.
Back to Sleep put you to sleep?
I mean, back that way. It happens that way. Like, the people that you would think, like, you don't feel this. Nah, we don't. Nah.
Ooh, you were speaking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you.
I understand.
Just, you know, there's really no way to fight that. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's really being authentic. Authenticity works. Like, as much as Fetty Wap, you know, some people may say, oh, like, he sticks to him. Nobody came out singing like that on, you know, a track. Nobody did that. He did it. You know, Young Thug, nobody did. Future, it was like, okay, Ty Dolla $ign.
Yes.
Though he raps, it's like, no, he can sing and he gives you a feeling. And I think that's what it's about. I don't think it's about nothing but a feeling. You know, some people, I've gotten, you know, great feedback from just my project, but I'm just all about a feeling. You know what I'm saying? You know, as long as you felt something and people feel it. So that's what needs to come back, just feeling. And I think it is coming back. You know, it's certain things, you know, like you said, you'll play and you're like, I love it. It'll catch on when it can, like, timing is everything. It's gonna catch on. Cause, like, you know, listen to songs like Begging and Pleading.
Ooh,
I love that record.
Yes, Lord.
You know, I love that record.
Yeah.
And to the masses, it'll catch on. Like, it's already big in its own right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll catch on.
I hope so.
Really,
Kelly
really
Rowland cry.
touch. I don't know. She's a sweetheart, so, like, I don't know. Kelly is just so
She made
nice.
Kelly Rowland cry.
Yeah, she did.
That's the nice way to say it. I made Kelly Rowland cry.
I didn't